Um, when Trump went on CNN to host that Klan rally, it was nothing more than a shit show. Um, and basically, without the bloodthirsty maggot crowd that Trump adores, he's a fucking coward. He would be a fucking coward without that maggot crowd. Now, Donald Trump won't even show up in a court without a mob of brain fascists to hide behind. Now, Donald Trump's Klan Hall on CNN last Wednesday was exactly what all the critics warned it would be: a fascist hate rally, with host Caitlin Collins cast in the role of the scapegoat for the Trump-led crowd to vent their bilious rage toward. Now, Trump fed on the bloodthirsty crowd's energy. He was a hate vampire swelling with pride as they cheered on the I Am Your Retribution Act, which he's not, which is equal parts unfunny, insult comedy, and bragging about how many crimes he's committed. And their cheering was especially enthusiastic when he mocked one of his sexual assault victims, E. Jean Carroll. They were also really into Trump, unsettlingly suggesting that his former vice squatter, Mike Pence, should have been murdered for not stealing the 2020 election for him when Trump lost it, and we knew that he lost. Trump's sociopathy is nothing new, of course, nor is it novel to say that the sadism is exactly what draws his sycophants to him. He's an aspirational figure for their worst impulses, a conduit for the maggot power fantasy of being able to attack, often with literal violence, anyone that they deem as outsiders to their tribe of conservative white Christians. As the Atlantic's Adam Sewer famously wrote, the cruelty is the point. Now, if you're a Christian, you cannot support Trump and be a Christian at the same time. It just doesn't work that way. Now, watching clips of this entirely predictable farce, however, I kept thinking back to video clips that had been making the rounds earlier that week, and ones that Trump did not want people to see. And those consisted of his deposition in the E. Jean Carroll rape trial, which ended this week as the jury found him liable for sexually assaulting the journalist back in the 1990s. Now, locked in the room with lawyers and a video camera without the wannabe lynch mob at his back, Trump was revealed during the deposition as the man he actually is, a buffoon whose dual pathologies of narcissism and insecurity led him to punch down in the fruitless bid to convince himself that he's a tough guy when in fact he's a pussy. But of course, he's actually a fucking pussy coward. And like all gutless bullies, he assiduously avoids any conflict when he's not protected. And sometimes he hides behind his loyal sycophants, which I don't understand how they can be loyal to him when he's not loyal to anybody in return. Or as when he assaults women, he waits until he's cornered someone half his size, and who he believes can be silenced by his money and power. Now, either way, Trump always pairs his viciousness with an unveiling, pulsal anonymity. Now, Trump's sycophants love to talk him up as a fighter when he's not, but he's the exact opposite. He's a chicken shit, the kind of man who kicks a puppy and thinks that makes him look tough, which if he kicks a puppy, that would consider him an animal abuser. The sort of person who sends a mob after his vice squatter while he hides in a reinforced room watching the melee safely on a screen. Now, two moments in a particular stick out that illustrate the contrast during the CNN town hall shit show. Trump was double wrapped in a protective blanket, first by his army of red hat sycophants, and by the knowledge that Collins was disempowered to do anything substantial to resist him. Now, cocooned by that safety, the coward felt free to call her a nasty person when Trump is the nastiest person that you could ever see. While Trump's jackass audience brayed like that was the funniest joke they ever heard when it wasn't really funny at all. Now, during the deposition, however, Trump tried lamely to insult the lawyer Robert Kaplan with, "You wouldn't be a choice of mine either." Now, Kaplan was not cowed by this weak effort or any of Trump's baby act. Kaplan benefited from the fact that Trump's dumb insults don't land with the chorus of maggot monkeys scheduling their approval in an unnerving way. And being told you won't be graced with the Trump penis is a moment of relief for any woman. Of course, no woman can get off on him anyway because he only has a 2-inch dick. Now, Kaplan, of course, also got the last word. This deposition was devastating proof of the story that she was telling about Trump. Trump is a misogynistic bully who sexually abuses women and then lies about it. And because of his mistake, it resulted in a $5 million judgment for her client. And Collins did not come out on top on the CNN town hall, however, but her efforts to counter Trump's lies started off weakly and collapsed into a meaningless swiftly as he drowned her in a firehouse of bullshit lies. As many observers pointed out, however, the format created an impossible situation. No matter how tough-minded you think you are, being in the midst of a jeering crowd that hates truth more than anything is not amenable to any kind of fact-checking. Now, crucially, it was the format and not Trump that did Collins in. It takes no special skills or strength to lie your head off knowing you have a mob of hate-blinded people to back you up with their screaming. And despite all his bluster, however, Trump knows full well that his success at lying and bullying depends entirely on having these people at his beck and call, and without them, he just comes across as the sordid joke. And that's why he not only refused to testify during Carroll's trial, but he refused to show up in court at all because he knew he was guilty. He fell apart during his deposition without the maggot masses to protect him. Imagine what a disaster he would be on the witness stand by lying. Now, his quiet knowledge of his own weakness is also why Trump got increasingly frantic in the weeks before his indictment. In a separate case involving campaign finance fraud in New York City back in March, Trump, however, cosetted by privilege, had the easiest possible time getting arrested. He was able to turn himself in flanked by a legion of lawyers, having arrived by private jet and a limo service. He didn't even have to submit a mugshot, and yet, pants weathered that he is, he spent weeks on Fraud Social begging the maggot mob to save him, which he would throw them under the bus. He would not save them, which, as he knew full well, would have required them to risk arrest or even death by storming the courthouse. Not that anyone should pity him. They choose to follow a snake who wants them to die so that he can avoid unflattering photos in the newspaper. Luckily, most of Trump's sycophants are as cowardly as he is, so they found their way to ignore his pleadings. And neither Trump nor his sycophants, of course, know what courage is. And what we saw in E. Jean Carroll, she stood up to the maggot swarm, and she did not fucking back down. She's the model of bravery, insisting on the truth even though it cost her job and put her in very real danger. Now,
in the criminal justice.
Now, perhaps Trump and his sycophants do know how much fortitude that takes, and that's why they hate her and other people who show real strength against adversity. And they are in the real world fucking jealous because, they don't have they don't have balls. It does go a long way towards explaining why the maggot crowd is so full of resentment and ready to hide in the safety of numbers to vomit all their bile out however they can, as long as they never have to risk anything to do so. Yep. So basically, Trump's sycophants are just as big of a pussies as he is. So if you like the video, you can get the video, like and subscribe to my channel, RBW King. You can also hit the notification bell so that you'll be notified when a new video comes out. You can also leave a comment, let me know what you think, and if you want to support my work even further, you can donate to my Patreon link, which you can find in the About section of YouTube. And for just a little as a few bucks a video or a month, your donation can help go a long way, and thanks for listening.